Well, well, well. And welcome to another day in the United States of fuck this place. Well, once again, I rose my head from my bed to see on my TV, creepy peepee, Mike Johnson, baby, saying the quiet part out loud once again, and every accusation just so happens to be a confession for him when it comes from the mouths of the GOP and the Republican crew. So let's talk about it, boo, because it's been a while since I shredded this weak wood dude, and he is not good timber when I tell you he's pressed fucking wood, boo. Anyway, into the goddamn wood chipper today, creepy peepee stood up there, baby, like the marionette puppet he fucking be, having his strings pulled by Orange Daddy, and said the quiet part out loud, dear. He said, and I quote, "The reason we put the TSA and FEMA and the Coast Guard with the Department of Homeland Security is so it will always be funded." That's right. He admitted that with his full chest. He just said it in a way that you thought it was about the security of the U.S. of A. He left out a very major important part, dear. Yes, that is why they bundled them together, so it would always be funded, not FEMA, not the Coast Guard, and not the TSA, but the Department of Homeland Security. Yeah, he said it, baby. They could take them all apart together and make them separate agencies like they used to be back in the day so they would be funded today, but no. They're going to keep them together so they can always have money on the flow for the Department of Homeland Security, honey. You know that big-ass budget that supersedes all the other budgets here in the United States, baby. That big-ass budget that we can see was wasted in every kind of way by Cosplay Christie and quite a few of those who've been allowed to play like her little boy toy, Corey Landowski, who told the New York Post, "I can do any fucking thing I want to. The president will just pardon me, boo." Yeah. So he admitted that part too, but there's something else he said that I want to drive on in here, dear. When throwing shade at the Democrat, he opened up his facial sphincter to say that the Democrats are scared of their own radical base, and that's why they won't fund the Department of Homeland Security, hun. Yeah, every accusation is a confession when it comes from the Republican GOP. Who's scared of their radical base? Creepy peepee. Because it's not the Democrats like me, and it's not those up on the Hill. And by the way, I'm not exactly a Democrat. I'm apolitical, you see. But either way, yeah, let's get to it, creepy peepee. Who is scared of their radicalized base? Because that day when all of you were scurrying away, it was not the left-leaning lunatic at the door of the Capitol and shit. Yeah, it was not left-leaning lunatics at the Capitol on this day when y'all were terrified and scurrying away. It was not the Democrats beating down the doors that day that had y'all running and scurrying the fuck away. Right? Creepy peepee? Who exactly is scared of their own constituent? This dimwit. Yes, these were not radicalized Democrats, were they? Nope, that was the red hat base. And whose base thinks it's okay when they don't get their way to take someone's life today? That'd be your base, creepy peepee. They're prone to violence, dear. When they don't take lives, they critically injure them. And since we're talking about funding the Department of Homeland Security today, and one of the things that we want is to see their face and for them to have correct uniforms and badges on, let's talk about what went wrong. You know, the guy that impersonated a police officer and covered his face to gain access to these Democrats' homes? Yeah. It's almost like we should have rules to law and order, dear, where you should not cover your face and you should have on correct uniforms that are, proper today. Yeah. And guess what he was? He was MAGA, dear. He believed the lies, he drank the Kool-Aid, and then when he found out the orange guy most definitely fucking lied, he could not let it abide, and he tried to, what? Assassinate the orange man. Let's talk about this MAGA man, a devout follower of the Republican crew, who apparently, supposedly, clipped Daddy's ear and took out a firefighter too. Not radicalized Democrats. That's just a fact. And the fact that little blondie bondie Satan Cindy Lou Who is hiding in military housing today had nothing to do with a radicalized Democrat. That was her own base, her own constituents that worshipped the orange man who shits in his pants and shit. Yeah. When she refused to release the files in their entirety and participated in a cover-up, they blew up. Cosplay Christie, the girl whose face is in a fight with a fella who hides on the Coast Guard base. It wasn't the radicalized Democrat that put her in that place. It was your base. Just like half of your base today is throwing threats your way on the Twitter streets because of the war in Iran, baby. That's not the Democrat. That's your base. And it's not just your base. It's some of your very own people who have retired today. Resigned from your own fucking party because of how radicalized the party just so happens to be. That's not the Democrats. But it is an accusation that is a confession today. You're scared of your own fucking base. Aren't you, creepy people? Because you know they don't just get out on the Twitter streets and say things. They show up at your fucking door with their face covered, don't they? They plant bombs. They terrorize a community. They terrorized Marjorie, the love child of Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, a Republican she be, America first all the way, baby, had to back away from her own party because she was getting threats. From who? The Red Hat MAGA crew. So the truth in the brew today is that the GOP is sitting up there, frozen in fucking place because of their own violent base. And that's just the truth. They don't know what the fuck to do. They've got to keep the Zionist Jew happy today and the America First Christian nationalist racist. And that has you wedged between two violent fucking groups, doesn't it? Creepy peepee. The Democrats ain't worried about none of that. That's your problem today. And good luck with that problem, by the way.